Do you want to build a snowman? Oh God, I can't stop singing. Oh my God. Parapeeps. So I just put some positive vibes in this video. The singing bowl to bed then is for releasing negative energies, changing the frequency of the environment you're in. So, right, this video is about different abilities. So we start at the beginning. Hopefully you've seen the other video where I talk about the rules, and this is sort of the beginning of a spiritual journey, if you like, in my way of teaching you about spirituality and mediumship. So let's go with the differences. So there is empaths, there is mediums, and there is psychics. Now they are the three sort of main abilities. You have healers, I'll go into that. You have people that do like energy work, you have people that just use crystals, but we'll just go with the main three. Right, first one, empath. So empaths, right, it's a bit of an ability. Most of the people I know with this ability struggle with being an empath because they pick up people's emotions, and they are an incredible judge of character, and they usually find that if they put their trust in people, they get let down. Same with lies and different things, they see right through that, so they struggle, especially being in crowds, especially being in like groups. Now you do get people like myself who have all three, so they're empaths, psychics and mediums. Now you can have one of these abilities, but if you are predominantly an empath, then you can do things like visualize yourselves in a bubble. And you can, I used to in work, because I used to work with a lot of boys in my job, and I used to put up a stop sign, like a lollipop lady or lollipop man, you know, don't go down that road. But you put up a stop sign, visualize it in between you and the person. It stops their thoughts. Now, it is, like I said, it is quite a thing to have, being an empath. It is quite something. But you can learn to develop it. You can make little notes. Like if you are out and about, make little notes. Write them on your phone. Put them, what you're feeling, what makes you feel. And if you're feeling something like stress, anxiety, worry, sadness, put up the stop sign, visualize it, see if them feelings fade. You'll know if they're your emotions or somebody else's, because an empath picks up on emotions. Bit like you might have read, like a star child or an indigo child. They are predominantly empathic, along with the other abilities they have. That's why they don't take any nonsense. That's why you can't lie to them. And they do struggle. So this little techniques, it does take a lot of practice. But it is something that can be managed. Now, most they try and avoid these situations, but you can learn from these situations. You can develop and push forward with it and use it to your advantage, because empathy is the most important thing we have in the world. It is very rare, and it is a necessity. Just to understand what somebody's going through, you'll see it through social media and some of the things that people put. If you don't have empathy, you can't understand, like mental health, anxiety. With an empath, even if they haven't physically had those mental health issues, they'll have a complete understanding of how them issues feel. So it is super important on the scale of spirituality. We will go with mediumship. Now, a lot of people ask me this: what's it like to be a medium? What does it feel like? Well, when I first started, I was having paranormal happenings to me, paranormal experiences, and I was working nights doing security, and the stuff that would happen to me was quite intense. Now, it would happen to me all the time. Unlike paranormal activity, if you're experiencing that in your home, when you leave, you don't feel anything. When you're mediumistic, so when you have a connection with spirit, and spirit, you have an energy that spirit can communicate with you, or they're trying to communicate with you, as was in my case. They were trying to get my attention and I wasn't listening, so they caused physical things to happen. Now, it scared me, something chronic. But after going to the church and sitting in a circle and meditating and learning about my gift, then it started to change the way I felt about it. So that's one way of looking out to see if you are on that path or you have that mediumistic ability, is put yourself in paranormal environments and see what you feel. Same thing like the empaths, make little notes. If you're in a crowd, just send a thought out. If there's anybody that wants to communicate with me, anybody with intentions of love and light, and see what comes in, right? Not everybody has the opportunity, like I did, to go and sit in a circle. Life can be quite manic, but that's one way of just checking. Now, spirit, they will push you. If they want you to be a medium, if they see your light, spirits who don't understand the rules, these are not ones that have gone to the other side and then come here to give a message. We're on about the spirits that create hauntings and who are trapped in the ether, who are too afraid to go over. Now, they will see your light and they will come in. They're like a moth to a flame, right? Your light is different. They're drawn to it. So if it keeps happening, and it keeps happening wherever you are, then that's a sign that it's mediumship more than just paranormal. So it's little things to look out for like that. So if you leave a paranormal location or your home and it stops, nothing else happens, and it's more likely that you have a mediumistic ability. It is quite a thing to get a spiritual message, right? Now, sometimes spirit will put feelings on you that they've experienced. Now, if you can imagine somebody has passed from a heart attack, that's not a really good feeling to feel, okay? So what you do is, if that happens, you say, step back. Thank you, but step back, right? And you've got to be, meaning you're just a postman, okay? You don't need to feel these things. You're not being pushed into anything. It's not the spirit's right to use your body, because they do get ones that just, they feel that energy, they feel that life force, and they want a piece of it, right? But you remember, confidence, I said in the other video, is important. If you get to the point where you're passing a message on, don't be afraid to say it. Just say it, okay? It doesn't matter whether it's wrong or right. They might not be able to take you then. They might take you in the future, okay? It might be just something that they just, it's happened to me so many times that the person, I'm telling them something, I said, the spirit said that they did this, and they've gone, no, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Good example, I said to a person that I see you with a horse, and you're in a painting, and you're with a horse, and you had it painted. I mean, that's pretty descriptive, right? That's pretty, if you know if that was you or not. And they were like, oh, I don't know what that is. About 10 minutes went past, and then he said, well, I've got a picture of me and a horse that I had painted, but I'm pregnant. And I said, well, is it a full horse and you? And she went, no, it's only our heads. You're going to come across things like that, right? You just got to look past them. You just got to just give what you're getting. Just pass it on, okay? If you are concerned, right, if you go down the medium road and you have concerns and worries, if you've heard me talk about it on this on the channel, now I was going into being a paranormal investigator, so I was going to come up against quite neg forces. You are a light being, right? You are putting light and love out into the world, okay? And with that, there's consequences. Obviously, darkness and negativity doesn't appreciate it. Now, that's what I was trained for, okay? Now, if you're just going down to do mediumship, then that's what you'll be trained for. Psychic. Now, not all psychics become mediums, but most mediums become psychic. Now, psychic ability is very similar to like empath, but it's a little bit more intrusive, and it can create all sorts of things. Like you might see it with psychic abilities, you can have sort of waves with psychic ability. You'll have different abilities will just sort of kick in. For example, I had one where it just happened. I was driving the car, very dangerous, driving the car, and I could see through somebody else's eyes. And I could see what they were looking at. I could feel everything they were feeling. And it happened to me over the period of about 6 weeks. It was very random, bizarre. And it just calmed down. You do with psychic ability, you have weird like outcomes, such as weird things that happen to you. They just happen. You can't, there's no control in it. They just do. It's just like it's where your brain goes. It's where your subconscious goes. It sends you on a journey. You know people's thoughts. You instinctively know before something is going to happen. So, for example, a phone call. For example, somebody's calling round. My nan, who lived in Loughborough, me and my father used to leave. Never phoned her, just leave randomly. Doesn't matter what time of year it was. We just get to the house and she'd have dinner on the table for us. She was an incredible psychic. But she wasn't really a psychic medium. There is a difference. I was asked once by scientists what the difference was. I said it's like flying a plane, riding a bike. It's that different. Psychic is, you know that you're in someone else's head. You feel it. You feel that their emotions, their thoughts, and it's intrusive. With mediumistic abilities and mediums, it's something else. It's a bit more of a, how can I explain that? A bit more enlightening. It's you feel the presence of like love, and you feel that want to get a message across. It comes through very strong. It's something else. It's otherworldly. It's ethereal. And they pop with me. The way they work with me is they put it all in my head and then they bugger off, and I have to sit through it. That's how they've worked with me since I started. They work with other people differently. They'll do things like they'll show you what you know and understand. So if there's a celebration, they might show you a birthday cake, balloons, pineapple on a stick, whatever is relevant to you in regards to that subject. Celebrations, like I said, they just show you what you know and understand. Now, psychic ability, there's things like crystals and stuff like that you can keep on you that calm. Amethyst doesn't. Amethyst does the opposite. Amethyst magnifies it, right? And there's things you can do to calm down psychic ability, okay? You can send psychic ability, believe it or not, inwards. Look at your subconscious and deal with things you're going through, all right? It is a little bit more difficult to manage, but it can be done, right? There's plenty of books. I can tell you a way that I know, but it might not be the right way for you. So it's something you need to research and learn about. Okay, I'll go over like things like tarot cards, crystal balls, and pendulums in the next video, because that's the next step. I'm just trying to tell you what the difference is, so you can look out for it. Okay, it's quite diverse, but they're all on the same sort of spectrum, if you like. So, empath is hard. Medium, becoming a medium, and some people are born with this ability and some develop it. I know, and it doesn't make one better than the other. I know people who have become mediums through grief, and they become some of the best mediums I've ever seen. Psychic is the same. It can be a trauma, it can be through genetics, it can be through like through your family, same as mediumistic, same as empath, but it doesn't make one more powerful than the other. Okay, it just means that somewhere in the past that's the path you took. It's just such a powerful thing to connect with spirit. Even if you did it 5 lives ago, it'll still echo into this life. Okay, it still will have like a pull, if you like a magnet. It will still have a pull in this life. So that's one of the reasons you might be experiencing it. So yeah, that's basically the gist of the differences. Keep a lookout for the paranormal. Like I said, it does, if you're in a paranormal environment for a long time, you'll have these things like being able to communicate with spirit. Because what happens is, if you're in the ether of the paranormal, you're in that energy for a very long time, it like soaks into your skin, right? And I think people like empaths and mediums and psychics, we all have a barrier in our skin, and it stops background electricity and radiation coming into our bodies. Well, I think with people like ourselves and yourself who's watching, that barrier is very low, so our energy protrudes a bit. So any energy we come in contact with is one, okay? And that's why, one of the reasons I think it happens. All right, it's just like I have dyslexia. It's like a form of that, okay? But it's a physical thing. If it ever gets too much, this is the same thing for the empath. You can imagine yourself in a sleeping bag, okay? So you just stand in it, imaginary sleeping bag, stand up, do the zip, get to the top, and you're protected. Another form of grounding is going down an helter-skelter. And as soon as you get to the bottom, you're grounded. Now these you can do anywhere. You're not sitting there on the bus twisting round like this, right? You're just sitting there, and if this is happening in your mind, okay? And another form of protection, which is a spiritual gift, is a ball of light you will create in your mind, and you fill it with all the love and positivity that you've ever experienced, and that is a brilliant protection. It's what I do if I have new members of the Paranormal Now team, and it's what I teach everyone to do, because I was told by Spirit it's one of the most powerful forms of spiritual protection we have. Okay, now ask for protection from spirits of love and light. Okay, it's important. Now, one of the other things you can do, which I'll go through right now, is grounding. This is important, grounding, right? So you sit there, bare feet is best, on the floor. Now, I prefer the golden cords of light. There's people that like other ways. They all work the same principle. Now, I close my eyes, I take in big breaths, in through your nose, out through your mouth, eyes shut, and imagine golden cords of light coming from your feet, grab all the earth's crust, right down into the mantle, through the lava, right down to the earth's core. And then you send one from the base of your spine. Follows the same path. So if you looked at yourself from an outside perspective, you'd see yourself anchored to the earth. And then as you breathe, you just imagine this energy flowing down. So if you've gone, it's a brilliant thing for if you've had a really crap day and you feel like you're feeling quite negative. So as you breathe, you push down, you breathe the energy down. As darkness leaves, light will take its place. There cannot be nothing, there's no empty space. One has to take the form of the other. Okay, so as you breathe it out, you push it down, you feel it. Breathe, push, it goes out into the earth recycles it. That's what the earth does. Now, the reason we go to the earth's core, because the earth is the magnetic center of the connection between us and the earth. Okay, that is the thing that creates all the energy on planet earth. So that's your anchor point, right? I'll talk about it in the next sessions, about doing that and how to communicate with spirit. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, because if you're going on this journey, you need to learn. Okay, my teacher always used to have a bit of a thing about being late, right? And I never understood it. She knew my life was chaos, and she'd have a go at me all the time about being late. But what it was because it's dedication. Okay, if you want to develop and you want to go down the mediumistic road, you want to become a medium, you have to learn patience, responsibility, and spirit of watching, how much dedication you put into that. And I didn't understand it till towards the end of my journey in the church, but I did. Because they're watching you, and this is one of the things I said. If you watched the last video, I said it does come with a warning. You're going to be judged on it. Okay, you're going to be judged on it, right? On the things you do, the actions you take, and how you perceive the world around you. And I don't mean you're going to be judged like in the Bible sense, where you're going to be punished. It's just like that little subconscious voice that says, really, are you going to do that? Think about it. And it gives you the opportunity, and meditation gives you the opportunity to think about that. Okay? And I hope that helps, guys. Alright, if you've got any questions, ask me in the next video. I'll try and go over as much as I know, and I'll teach you. I just want to say, before I go, spirituality just in itself is something else. Okay? Now, I did say in the other video there was warnings, but spirituality is, you can be super spiritual without any of these abilities, right? And they come with their own rewards. And I will go into that in different videos, because people have asked me to cover that. But that is a completely different ball game, okay? Because any one of these will lead you on that path. So they come kind of hand in hand, right? So I don't need to explain it to you. If you feel one of these, if you have one of these symptoms, if you feel like this, if you're being called into the work, if you're being a healer, for example, right? Your energy, there is something about your energy that can create healing energy. In the future, one day, this will be taught in schools, right? Transference of energy will just be common knowledge. It should be now. Unfortunately, we've lost it. But it's the same thing, but you just use that energy to heal. You transfer it. Okay, with healers, it's the same thing. Most healers I've ever met, qualities. So they're either empath, medium, psychic, right? And they've chose that path. The path will come to you when you decide to walk down it. So I hope that's helped, guys. And sometimes I'm a bit manic. I go from one extreme to the other, but I hope that helps, and I hope that gives you an idea of the differences. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Follow the channel, and I'll see you in the next video, para peeps. Love and light to you all. Right. You see yourself. Yorur.